Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of my, I don't know what to call it yet, if it's a podcast or a friend cast, fan cast, not a fan cast, but I don't have a name for it. Bleachers and Beyond is the name for now. Anyway, we are joined today by Benchwarmer Bran. I think we've had a very long-awaited time to unite here, so I'm glad to finally meet him. And Bran, thank you so much for taking time to join me today.
Yeah, no, happy to be here. You were one of the creators that kind of inspired me to start, so it's pretty cool to, finally be collabing here. The masses have been demanding it for a long time, so I'm glad to finally be here.
No, man, and it's great to meet you. You're just as nice as you seem in your videos, so that's very comforting too. Right away, we got to squash the elephant in the room. What's the beef with Jaylen Pulk?
Bro, there's no beef. It's just when a player fucking sucks, I acknowledge that they suck and I'm over. I mean, look, I was excited when we picked him, like second round receiver. We desperately needed a receiver, and then the dude just had some of the most mind-numbing drops, and then was dealing with injuries. Like, that's not his fault, but I'm just at a point now where I look at our roster. I'm like, yeah, we have 5, 6, 7 better receivers than Jaylen Pulk on this roster. So I'm kind of over him. If he performs and proves me wrong, great. I doubt it.
I laugh because, like I was trying to talk to you on Twitter. I have those rookie cards. I like 2 or 3, pretty nice rookie cards of him. And I was looking at that, a couple months ago, and I'm like, oh, a second round pick. Maybe he can turn it around. And then I made that one tweet about like impactful players, and you responded on it because I was like, oh, Jaylen Pulk, because I need him to do good for those cards.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I had no idea how like analytically horrible he was last year. Like,
yeah, the perception's not good among Patriots fans, especially. It did not take long for us to be over him, unfortunately.
Like, would you take him or N'Keal Harris?
I'd take a bullet to the head if that's an option. Probably Polk, I guess. He hasn't pissed me off for as long as N'Keal Harry has. N'Keal Harry is literally a tight end, by the way, now. I don't know if you know that. I don't even know if he's on a team, but he's listed as a tight end. He made the position switch for whatever team he tried to be on last. I think it might have been the Titans.
Yeah, he was on the Vikings for a hot second.
Yes.
And that didn't last long at all.
Shocker.
So next thing we're moving on to, and I just want to know your take on this. In my buddy's fantasy league, I'm not in it. He had someone that drafted TreVeyon Henderson 6th overall.
Oh dear. That's troubling. Look, do I think TreVeyon Henderson could be a top 10 fantasy pick in like 2 years? Absolutely. I think he's a great player. And I think he's going to be like really, really good in fantasy this year, but that's a little out of control. The Patriots are going to use some level of a committee, and I do think there's a chance Henderson can take, more and more of it as the season goes along. But like, Ramondre's going to get touches. Gibson's going to get touches. I mean, Gibson started over him in the last preseason game. Not that means much, but like it happened. 6th overall is a little OD. I don't see that. I don't see that working out based on who we probably left on the table there.
No, I mean, he said it, and I was like, 6th. I was like 6th round, and he goes, no, 6th overall. I'm like, well, I mean, he probably wouldn't even go to the 6th round, but I'm like, that's insanely early.
We could start talking about him once we get to like, if you really, really, really like him and you're in like a 12-teamer, I could understand like very late 3rd round because you're not going to get it. You might not get him on the come around back or whatever. But yeah, that's psychotic.
In fantasy for running backs there, do you think Stevenson probably still has the biggest upside, or do you think it would be Henderson?
No, I do think it's Henderson. I mean, like regardless who's out there for the first snap of week 1 on the Patriots, like I think Henderson is the guy that they like more. I think they know he's better. I just don't think it's going to be this immediate. Like if you're going to return, especially 1st round fantasy value, like you have to be on the field for like 70+% of the snaps. I would think, unless you're Derrick Henry and you just score every time you touch the ball. Like you need to be on the field a lot. I don't envision much beyond like 50-ish% of snaps for TreVeyon, at least early on. But like Ramondre, to me, it's like, what's the upside case with him? It's like he's in a committee. He is the less talented back in the committee on an offense that, as much as I'm optimistic for it, like we don't know how good they're going to be or if they're going to be good at all. So it's like, I would definitely take Henderson over Ramondre.
Okay, so that kind of is a very good transition into our next thing. As far as your expectation goes, are you expecting to beat out the Dolphins this year? And also, do you think you're going to compete with the Bills?
I do expect to beat out the Dolphins this year. I think the roster is really well rounded. I mean, so much of this is going to come down to A, the offensive line, and B, Drake Maye. But I believe enough in the improvements made in the offensive line, and I believe in Drake Maye a lot. And the difference between the Patriots and the Dolphins is also going to be on the defensive side. Like, I like our defense a lot. I liked our defense a lot last year. It just so happened that, some of our more impactful players, Christian Gonzalez included, got hurt very early in the year. So I think defensively too, like, we're going to be able to be in a lot of games. I'm not looking at the Bills just yet. I am hoping for a wild card spot this year. I have optimistically predicted that we can squeak into a wild card spot, much like the Commanders did last year. But no, we are not. I don't think we're pursuing the top of the AFC East mountain again just yet.
Okay. I mean, if you would have said that you thought they were going to compete with the Bills, I wouldn't have thought that was ridiculous at all, because I mean, like I'm too much of a supporter of Drake Maye for being a Bills fan. Like, it's almost
I know,
scary,
but you're the guy. You're a big supporter.
I love Drake Maye, I do, and I've always thought Kendrick Bourne. I know he's kind of he's not an afterthought, but he's kind of buried in the depth chart right now a little bit. But he's always been kind of underrated, and a very productive player for you guys as well. So, segueing into the next thing, it's a little piece of news that came out yesterday, and I just want to know your thoughts on Anthony Richardson taking a seat on the pine.
Man, it's such a brutal situation, because I try to look at it from every angle, right? I think the people that say, like, they should have seen it out with Anthony Richardson and see what they have and, start him because why wouldn't you? Like, I feel like that's simplifying it a little too much, because I'm like, if he's really that bad, like, things aren't going to change when the lights come on. It feels like it's the Trey Lance argument all over again. And it's like Trey Lance has flashed this preseason with the Chargers, and that's great. But, like, back with the Niners and even with the Cowboys, like, people clamoring for him to start, I'm like, sometimes I trust the team's judgment in cases like this, where I'm like, they are seeing these guys every day and they think Daniel Jones is performing better than Anthony Richardson. Like, I was talking about this on my podcast yesterday, where I was like, the other criticism is people are saying they drafted Anthony Richardson knowing he was a project, and now they're kind of upset that he's a project. And I'm like, I get that, but at the same time, I think he might also just have ended up being more of a project than they bargained for. They're like, they knew that they were going to have to develop him, but then they might have got him in the building and seen him the last couple of years, and they're like, oh, I didn't realize it was that bad. And I kind of feel like that's where it is. So I get it. The team is down horrific, though. I mean, Daniel Jones sucks too. So I don't know. It's a bad scene.
No, I took the victory lap kind of on the I was right thing. It doesn't mean I hope for the worst in Anthony Richardson by any means like that. But when you watch him, it seems like his decisions, literally almost every one that he makes, unless it's the occasional bomb that goes 65 yards down the field, are insanely impulsive, and oftentimes they're just not the best decisions to make.
Yeah,
and I'm not sure what the next step with him is really going to be. I don't think that he's going to play as a starter on the Colts unless something happens this year where he's needed to play and, kind of has that redeeming prove it moment. But it is a little bit shocking that the Colts, I mean, they're still in this quarterback debacle since Luck. I mean,
they cursed themselves, I think, because they booed Andrew Luck when he announced, or it leaked that he was retiring. I think they have cursed themselves. I see that tweet flying around every time something bad happens to them. And I fully agree. They just, God, Matt Ryan, Jacoby Brissett, whatever the hell else they have trotted through that door, none of it's been good. So
Carson Wentz, Gardner Minshew.
Yeah, it's
all the
bad.
goats. Phillip Rivers was in there too.
Phillip Rivers, true. Ugh.
So the next little thing I got going here, it's just called, I don't know if you watch anything I do on YouTube, but I do a series called Versus the World, and then I just compare players against other players in that starting position. And I got 5 quick ones for Drake Maye for you.
Okay.
So I don't need a dictionary response. If you want to get into it, you absolutely can. But the first one is Drake or Brock Purdy.
Drake.
I mean, I would take Drake Maye too. And people aren't going to like that. The 49er fans are going to be so mad.
Just more physically talented. I think the ceiling is more there for Drake Maye. Brock's great. Brock's a really, really good quarterback, but I'll take the upside.
Well, Drake's rushing too, I think, is something that is so slept on. He's unbelievable. What about I think I know this one. Drake or T-Law?
I'll take Drake. I like Trevor. I hope he can be better with Liam Cohen, but I'll still take Drake there.
I'd probably gamble on Drake too, but T-Law is my guy. Drake or Tua?
Drake. Oh God. Send Tua down the street. Absolutely not. No.
I might have set you up there for that one.
Oh God.
Drake or Kyler Murray?
Drake. Man, I've soured so much on Kyler Murray the last few years. He seems attitudinal to me. I don't know what it is, and he doesn't really say the wrong things too often, but I get bad vibes from him, man, and he hasn't reached that ceiling. So I'll go with Drake.
No, I kind of think of him as like a cat with 9 lives. I mean, how many years
Yeah.
are we gonna keep hearing it? You
Yeah.
know, he's gonna play
Do
out.
something.
He's gonna play out. How much? He's like he was the 5th or 6th highest paid quarterback.
Yeah.
You know, is that massive deal? Drake or Caleb Williams?
I mean, on draft day, I would have said Caleb Williams. At this point, I don't see enough of a gap between them to fade my guy, so I'll just stick with Drake May.
Okay, that one is a toss up.
Yeah.
I don't know who I would honestly rather take there. If I had to take one and I can't change it, I would probably agree with you on that. I think these were, I set it up kind of where I thought, you know, there were closer comparisons other than the 201. But Drake, if you're building forward, I'm definitely taking him. One final one, I'm just going to sneak in here. Drake or CJ Stroud?
Oh, wow. Oh, that's easily the toughest one. Man. The responsible answer is probably CJ Stroud. I'm not responsible. I'll take Drake May.
I think that's the one where I would probably have to chant CJ, but
I get it.
There's nothing you can do wrong. I could keep going. I got to do one more. Drake or Jordan Love?
Drake. Jordan Love doesn't do a lot for me. I like him. I think he's a good quarterback, but that's not enough for me to get off of Drake May.
See, I'm a Jordan Love guy, so we can differ on two of them. We can differ on two of them. That's okay. It's not a bad comparison by us by any means. The little final thing I got here is just some questions from some fans that I got. So
beautiful. First
first one is from Patrick Gustavson. I'm sorry if I said that wrong, man. And it's how will Kyle Pitts do this year?
Patrick Gustafson is my stupid podcast co-host who is instigating with this question. Awful. The guy is ass. We're done with Kyle Pitts, man. I don't know how. I know how I got my name attached to this guy, but I swear this guy has been more synonymous with me than any player ever. And it's funny because I drafted him one time, but he did almost single-handedly tank my fantasy season that year. So I get it. But yeah, garbage. He is garbage.
So you're not buying into the Michael Penix saying that there's going to be a lot of throwing to Kyle Pitts?
No, man, that is such bait from Michael Penix. That is just him trying to get Pitts' confidence up because I'm sure it is in the absolute basement after the last few years. Like, I'm sure he's going to try. Good luck actually connecting with him when he's running the wrong routes or running routes lazily and doesn't study the playbook, because all his coaches have ever said about him for the last 4 years is he needs to hammer home the details. Buddy, figure out the details. You've been in the league. You're a vet at this point. It's ridiculous. So no, I am not buying into it at all. Drake London, yes. Darnell Mooney, yes. Shit. Kadarrell Hodge, yes, but not Kyle Pitts.
Okay, you don't have to tell me how you really feel on him,
bro. Don't get me going.
Oh, you weren't going there, huh? Next, sorry, I've been sick for a month now. I might need to go to the doctor. Gavin Johnson says, who are our favorite WWE superstars since we both watch it?
Oh, good question. I think my favorite, if I really had to boil it down, is a guy who's been hurt for the last 9 months. I'm a big Ilya Dragunov guy. I am. And I was real bummed when he got hurt. I love how he wrestles. I love the intensity. I love anybody that is really able to make me suspend the disbelief of the whole fake fighting. Some guys unfortunately make it look more obvious than it needs to be. And he does not. Just like Gunther, all his matches feel very physical and real. So Ilya, I'll go with him.
That's a very respectful answer. I like to play as him in 2K. He's very fun because of what you said. He has the hard-hitting moves. I would say mine would have to be El Grande Americano / Chad Gable. I love him. He's from Minnesota too, so I got the connection there. But I think he is just one of the best technical wrestlers, which to a degree I think can kind of be boring compared to, some of the high flying stuff. But I think that he is entertaining enough to where, to me it's so easy to root for him whether you're supposed to or not. So
no, I'm with you. That's totally valid.
Who's, I guess I'll just kind of add to this. Who's one that is kind of popular with the crowd today and you're just not with?
This has been years ongoing. It's Natalia, man. I swear, I swear, I see people try to prop up Natalia all the time. They're like, "Oh, she deserves another title run. She deserves this and that." I respect Natalia for the fact that she was one of the better wrestlers back at a time where women's wrestling wasn't allowed to thrive, and that's great. Bro, she has been lapped 15 times over in the last decade or so. Like, she is not comparatively good. I respect her again, like as a coach, as a mentor for the women that are in wrestling, but like every time she's on my TV, I want to turn it off. I hate it. I hate it so much, and I feel bad saying it, but it's Natalia.
Well, she used to be the one that was always someone's first title defense. Like it was the thing for so long. Now, I always get ripped because I do my 2K adjustments, and she always gets put down to like 68 overall, and people are like, "You have no."
She hasn't won a match in like ever. I mean, shit.
The John Cena of women, almost. Oh, well,
Right.
not in any way comparatively career wise, but I would have to say the one that people are going to expect me to say Jey Uso because I've been a critic on it. I'm just not with that. But Sami Zayn, I don't like Sami.
I get that.
It's his character for me. I'm bored with it and I don't like it. And I feel like his wins don't ever elevate any, he's never elevated. He's not elevating people like Karrion. I know that, there's rumors of him leaving, but I think he's going to stick around, and Karrion definitely should have beaten him in one of those outings. But
yeah, it hurts me too. Cause like I loved NXT Sami Zayn and I loved when he first came up to the main roster, but like, I totally get it. The last few years, it doesn't do anything for me, especially, and this is probably cause I'm a Gunther homer, but like, I did not want him to win that title from Gunther at WrestleMania. Like I didn't, it felt like this underdog story that they were really trying to like create and prop up, and I was like, can Sami Zayn stop being this like plucky underdog? Like I don't care anymore. I like the guy, but I don't care anymore.
No, and that's I'm glad that we can see eye to eye on the aspect of it that I don't like. Again, people are gonna be like, "Why do you hate him?" It's like I don't hate the guy. I just don't like it right now. Yes, he comes out and it's like I go to the bathroom at this point, or go change clothes in the laundry. Right. Next question we got is, I think, a great question from Bellinger is the GOAT. He says, "What's our least favorite part about making skits?"
Oh yeah, I guess that's appropriate for us. Least favorite part about making skits, truthfully, I am like so OCD when I make skits, so I edit my stuff down like crazy. Some of the lines you'll see me say, I repeat maybe 20 times before I get it out the way that I want to get it out. And it drives me nuts because I'm like, I can hear it in my head. I'm saying this with the right tone that I'm trying to express, and I can't translate it. And so that drives me nuts. Sometimes it just takes me longer than I want it to, because I like the rest of the process. Like I love writing it. I like the creativity part of it, but sometimes just the execution, it takes too long. So that's probably my answer.
Mine is probably got, and I feel that I don't I'm a little bit more impatient with it, where if it's 5 times I'm like, okay, but like today in my skit I had a long one because I was playing an announcer and I had to redo that one like 5 times, and it's just like I'm out of breath at the end of all of them. I'm looking like a tomato. I'm like, I can't be on there.
Well, because you're yelling a lot more than I am generally. So yeah, you're definitely getting redder for sure.
Yeah, I get worked up in mine, and I think adds to it, and it's kind of my thing. Definitely. On it. So I the other thing though that I can't stand, and it's like this with YouTube too, watching myself, and at the end of every video or skit I'll watch it once, to make sure that it's complete and how it looks and everything. And even if it's a minute and 2 seconds, because you got to make that money on TikTok, make it over a minute, it's the most excruciating minute and 2 seconds of my life. I just sit there and I'm like, oh my gosh, but I don't know, it always seems to get some positive reception. So hey.
Yeah, that's what you got to go off of.
Final question we got here is from Buffet Destroyer. Love the name there, sir. Who will be the first head coach fired?
First head coach fired. I've gotten this question a few times. Hold on. I want to pull up the list of the head coaches because I feel like there's always somebody I forget, and I don't want to say the wrong guy here. I have guys that immediately come to mind, but I think back to our quarterback discussion, I mean, Shane Steichen's a pretty easy answer here. I think he's probably my answer. It's hard to see a world where like the Colts have a great season, and I just unfortunately, head coaches go down with the ship of a misplayed quarterback draft pick more often than not. I mean, Brian Daboll got to survive and get through to Jackson Dart, another stab at it, I guess. But I'll say Steichen. I don't see things going well for the Colts this year.
I don't see that either. And of course, they're fans. I don't know ball because I don't think their team that doesn't have a solid quarterback situation is going to succeed. My dad, he was on yesterday, and he said that he thinks, Steichen's going to be the first one. I don't, because I think that, what he's been able to accomplish, given the bad situations he's been given, especially, nearly making the playoffs that 1 year with Gardner Minshew, he might be able to actually stay in the season enough to keep his job. Yeah. In Indy. If I had to guess someone that's going to get the axe first, and maybe it's just the disdain I have for him, but I'm going to go with Mike McDaniel.
I think the other one I was thinking about.
I think that they're going to start off miserable. They're going to get smacked maybe by everyone in the division. I'm not sure when their games against Buffalo. I think there might be later, but I can see the impatience because they're going to run out of people to blame eventually, and fans are not going to be happy, and I can just see him getting the boot. So
yeah, I feel like the Colts are more built to possibly, I don't know. I mean, I could see them making a rogue playoff appearance like how the Giants did with Daniel Jones a few years ago. I don't know. The Dolphins are in such a purgatory that I don't know what there is to really look forward to or be optimistic for as a Dolphins fan. How do you really see a core of Tua and these guys making noise in the playoffs, or we got to pull the plug at some point, and I feel like the plug's going to get pulled either if it's not mid-season, at the end of the season, because they got to commit one direction or the other.
No, and I guess it's just when are they going to make the call on that if things indeed do go south like we predicted or are predicting to. That is all I got for today, though, Bran. I know that everybody here watching is going to know who you are, but if you guys don't know who Bran is, he is on every single social media platform out there. Make sure to check him out. He does skits just like me, and Bran, I love everything you do. I think you're one of the most hardworking, creative guys I've seen, so I appreciate you for being here.
I appreciate it, man. Same to you. We are just two guys living in this NFL comedy skit landscape trying to make a living, and I think we're both doing pretty well, so can't complain.
Absolutely. Congrats again on the house, man.
Thank you, man.